Hey there. Here's a fairly quick exercise you can do for shoulders, upper body, kind of gets into the neck even too. And it can be really great if you've been sitting on a computer for a long time, watching a lot of TV or driving, or I do a lot of massage, so I'm fairly bent over, kind of working forward like this. So it gets the shoulders moving. I like it as sometimes this is a nice thing to do right at the beginning of the day to kind of warm things up. It can be nice in between, when you're working. And I also like it towards the end of the day because then it kind of gets, the kinks of the day out. So you'll see I've got some belts and stuff. So probably you at home have a belt of some kind. This is just a fabric belt. You could try, a leather one or whatever type that you have. We'll be kind of pulling on it from either end. So if it's something that's really fragile, you wouldn't want to go with that. There's also, you can get yoga straps, which as you can see are really long. And so that might be good if you've got a really big arm span. We're not going to have our arms this wide, but it also depends because you're going to want to have, I like using this belt because I can have my arms kind of wide, my hands and arms kind of wide, but I don't have too much dangling on the end, whereas when I use the yoga strap, I've got like a foot of fabric on either side that, often will whack me in the face or something. So you could also use the sash of a robe. Oftentimes that's going to be long enough. You could also, for this, use a long dowel or a broom. It obviously is not going to have the collapsibility, but I don't think we actually really need that for this because, like I said, most of the time we're going to be kind of holding, grabbing, and kind of pulling away as if we were trying to rip it apart in the middle. Okay, so this was the yoga strap. You can kind of find these a lot of places. I'm going to use the belt. So this is just going to be a lot of arm movement, so listen to your own shoulders and body. You can pause, you can do these little segments at a time. You don't have to do this whole thing. I kind of like to do it together, but feel free to take, pick and choose what is going to work best for you. Try it a little bit first. You don't have to rip things apart as if you were really going to rip the belt away. Just add a little bit of resistance, kind of. So, just go easy. Listen, all right? And be kind to your body and mind, as I like to say. So the first thing we're going to do is you'll hold whatever you're holding and have, so, if you see, I've got my arms fairly wide apart. And so we're just going to do this sort of a thing. Now, there are some things where you might kind of like hyperextend to take the arms back. We're not really looking for that today. So you're going to hold the strap out in front of you and then give a little bit of a pull so you'll feel your shoulders, your chest, your upper back kind of kick on a little bit. Might be different for different people. And so then start to move your arms back. And for me, this is about all I've got, or this is about where my shoulders and everything tells me to stop. Now, if I popped my chest forward, I could go more, but then that's spinal extension involving it too, but I'm just trying to get my shoulders involved. So I'm really trying to keep things still here. And so you can just go up and back a few times. This is also sort of a little bit of a test. So, I can look here and see where it's at. All right, so do this a few times. This can be super great in of itself. You can move a little bit slower so you can really observe what you're feeling, where the boundaries are. All right, and then the next thing is I like to move my hands a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. So I've brought my hands a little bit closer in. And then I'm going to keep pulling on either end of the strap or belt. And then I'm going to sort of slide my shoulder blades forward, out, so as if I'm offering it, and then I'm going to slide them back as if they're coming to touch in the back. Sliding them forward and sliding them back. I don't know if you can see anything when you could actually see the shoulder blades. just sliding forward and sliding back. And so here you can stay at this kind of shoulder height. You can also go down. I'll show from the front as well. So I'm just sliding, really nothing else is moving, just the shoulder blades and my arms. The shoulder blades are causing the arms to move forward. And I'm really feeling this in between my shoulder blades. You can also go up. And feel free to take a break at any time, because sometimes it can be a lot. So take a break, breathe, and then you can come and try a couple of other angles. Noticing what you feel. And then letting that go, shaking things out. All right, then the next thing I like to do is maybe keep my arms at the same, the hands at the same width, or take them out a little bit wider, and then pull on the strap, lift the strap up, I'll stand back a little bit, and then kind of go around the world. So again, this is, I'm trying, and I'll show you from the side, I'm trying to not move my body or my ribs. Try not to move that too much. I'm trying to make this the shoulder blade movement. And there might be a little bit of movement, but I'm really just trying to get those shoulder blades moving around. I'll show you. And so go the opposite direction as well. I'll show from the back. And from the other side, just for good measure. All right, do that a few times. Notice how that feels. Shake your shoulders out, take a little break. If you need to shake an arm out, shake out your grip, because we're working on grip as well. So this is going to be good for the forearms. So feel free if you need to kind of wiggle the fingers around, shake out the wrists. And then another thing I like to do, and I'll show you from the front first. So I'll take the end of the strap and have a lot dangling, and then I'll take it behind me, and then I'll just grab somewhere, and it doesn't have to be right together. Even if you can grab your if you can touch your hands, that's cool, but we don't need to do that at all for this, because it's gonna feel like a little bit of a flossing. So take a grab of the strap towards the bottom, or maybe towards the middle. And then we're just gonna be I like to move the top hand up and then move the bottom hand down. And so doing that a little bit. And as I do that, I sometimes like to move my neck around and notice what I'm feeling. Kind of looking down towards the floor. And then you can switch sides. So maybe drop this arm down, give it a shake, and then switch to the other hand. Have a long bit dangling behind you. Grab it somewhere behind you, and then start to do a little kind of bit of a vertical flossing. And again, turn your head. Notice how this movement feels on the neck. You can play with where the hands are, how close they are. It's going to change. It might change things a little bit, change how it feels. And then give another shake. And there's some other things you can do here too. You can hold the strap again, and you can do some lateral bending. So I've got my feet kind of wider apart to have a little bit more steady base. but you can play with where the feet are for you. And again, creating that tension in the strap and then leaning. And it's almost, you can think about, so I'm going to go over to this side, so you can think about, so I'm going to go towards the right, and so you can think about having the tension and letting that right hand pull you over, but not all the way over. And then think about the left hand pulling you back to the center, and then pulling to the other side. While you're here, you might also continue creating that tension and do a little twist. As if you were imagine that you had a sign where this strap is, or something was written on the strap, and you wanted to show this person, hey, here's what it says on the strap. And show your other neighbor. And so there might be some other things that you'd like to try to do with the strap. Or again, with that, again, you could do all these things with a broom or a long stick or something like that. Okay, so like we did before where we were doing those kind of up and backs, we can try it again. And I like using the belt because I can see maybe where I started. I don't quite remember, but sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult when the strap is so long. But anyway, I tried to bring my arms out, maybe about to where I had started. And then, again, creating the tension. And then noticing, yeah, it seems to me I've got a little bit more movement. So, and remember, this is just working with your own body. There's no trying to, it's not like the goal of this is to flip your arms behind you. All right, so give things a shake. And then you might even just close your eyes and notice how you're feeling. We didn't do this at the beginning, but sometimes it can be a really good idea to stop, come inside, turn your vision inside and notice what you're feeling through the shoulders, through the neck, through the chest, the upper back. Notice how your breathing feels. And then afterwards, check in again. Notice. Maybe turn your head a little bit from side to side. Personally, for me, I noticed I was getting a little bit of a headache before I started this, and I feel a little bit better now. Things feel a little bit looser, a little bit more open. And repeat as needed. Have a great day.